All right. Let's see. Looks like we got sound from the microphone into OBS. Let me get the links. Oh, that's weird. Take me to the event. Oh, I see. Actually, they don't. Restream updated their UI a little bit. Hear myself. Check. Can I still hear myself? No. Yeah, I think we're better. Links in the chat here. Good morning, Tammy. Go over to dashboard here so I can see the chat better. We don't need... Oh, let me turn YouTube chat off. I wish I could default the YouTube chat to off. Well, really, I wish YouTube was just better at filtering out obvious spam. In the absence of that, though, I wish I could default it to off. Let's see. Almost ready here. Whoop. Nope, we don't want that. Okay. All right. So first thing today is where we left off last night on the tab layout. Whoop. On Firefox. And I don't think there is much to do, but basically what I want to do is just go make sure the PR is ready. There's, I think, a few details didn't include in it that I should, like version of CircuitPython you need, because it is, you gotta have the pretty much the brand newest, the beta 2. Oh, this one does say docs failing, actually. Well, probably a separate issue. Say docs failing here? It does. Failing. Alright, well, I guess let's look into that while we're here. I can never remember the right... Well, I can remember a way to get to the page I want, but I wish there was a link here somewhere to get to the page I want. So the way I usually do this is go readthedocs.org. Oh no. Okay, well, I think it's because I'm not in Chrome. I don't actually know the login. I don't want to go track it down. Go to here. I go to just like a library. This is the page I want. Project dashboard page. I don't know if there's a name for this page, but I don't know how to get there from here. Like this docs has one of those. Usually what I end up doing is basically just grabbing a URL of this one because I know how to find the link to it, and then putting in a slug like this. Guess maybe it's because it doesn't have Adafruit? Oh, this page doesn't exist. See, and then now I'm stuck. Like, how do I find the right thing? It's CircuitPython? Adafruit CircuitPython? Yeah, we got lucky there. So where's builds? Failed. Oh, it's been failing for a long time. Icon animated. Failed to import Cartesian. I don't recall ever seeing anything like this. Hmm. I don't know. Seems like this exists in a bunch of places. Python.h. .450 Sphinx. But we built it locally, didn't we? .450 Sphinx. But I have Python 3.8 and this. Well, okay, here's what we're gonna do. This is not related to the tab layout. What we're gonna do is just file an issue. Python 3.10. Seems like a bunch of things end up failing with the same error. But not quite everything. We'll have to track down what is the what is the common link between all the ones that failed? Or we could also, I guess, probably it will be easier to solve this if I install Python 3.10 locally. Can I get Python 3.10? I'm sure I can, right? I'm not going to do this right now, but I'm curious if it shows it as a download. Will probably give it to me. Okay, looks like it. I don't really know where it would do this. I mean, this is like in the C code, is it? I don't know. Interesting. Didn't it pass actions? It did pass actions, which means it built the docs successfully in here. Tell me what version of Python it's using. .3.10.4. Oh. Plot thickens. Maybe it will succeed this time. Where's the page we were on? I guess it's pretty much gone now. One week, 5 days. I mean, surely it's gonna fail again, right? I don't know. That's strange. Okay, yeah. I think it's maybe easiest if we give a short video showing the TabLayout here, and then I'll also put the information about CircuitPython version. Got a little jumpy in there, but that's alright. I think that was the camera, not the actual screen. Don't really get jittery like that on the actual screen. I thought it would... Okay, it needs a line in there. In order to run, you need... It's probably not this exact version. There must have been a commit, there must have been a few version, like, in between versions, not like released ones on the page here, but in the S3 there's probably a few between, but this is the easiest one to get for sure. We're just gonna call it this, requires. All right. Okay. The next thing I want to do is actually sort of related to this, but only a bit tangentially, which is... Nice. Hadn't seen this yet. CircuitPython module. Nice. Could probably help with that. This really? What is this? Unstable? Does that have something to do with... Oh, I got... I see. Just dir modules or something. Help modules. Okay. This is a real one, though. So, Vectorio shapes don't hide when you put them in a group and call hidden true on the group, or set hidden true, rather. Project is really coming together. Nice work. Yeah, thank you. I think we're close. We're pretty darn close to being able to really do the updated version of the one in the guide. PyPortal interface guide. I'll have to reach out to Lady Ada and PT and see if they're interested in updating this one or making a new one. But we're darn close, I think, to having all the things we need to kind of make a more modern version of this one, which will hopefully have code that's easier to understand and use because of the layouts and stuff. I did discover this issue when I was working on the page layout, which eventually the tab layout became something that uses the page layout. I think I even started on this one day. I'm gonna go back to using CLion. I got CLion still in here, and I think this should count as registered now. Didn't really show me the pop-up page, which is usually where it tells me. One thing I don't know though is if I pushed it. IO. And hide tile grid. Hidden Vectorio. So one thing is this is going to be way behind now. And if I recall correctly, we got this... Sound of Gaming, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. If I recall correctly, we got this to the point where we were able to hide a Vectorio shape, and it did work. It just didn't, like, instantly refresh and actually hide it right away. We had to, like, move it or do something to it in order to make it actually refresh and show onto the display as hidden. It means obviously don't show onto the display, but I think we got it into that state where we could flip the Boolean hidden or not, and like technically it was kind of working, but we had to like nudge it to actually make it take effect. So hopefully there's somewhere where we just need to say like force refresh true or something, and then that will be all we need to make it work all the way work when it's actually supposed to. But I am going to merge from main to hidden Vectorio. Might take a second. Not that fast, or I mean not that slow, honestly. And now I'm going to compare against main to see what the differences are. There's not a whole lot. Basically inside a group. Right, okay, we have inside a fill area. It's been a while since I touched any of this too, so I'm going to kind of just rewrap my head back around what we were doing. So inside fill area, we added basically this if statement, if self-hidden is false. Then we do all of the stuff in here. And that's really all that we changed, actually. Okay, so what's interesting, though, is we don't have, like... Else? Maybe we need to do an else something? Else, what would we do, though? Boolean. Or what this is meant to return. True if what, though? True if it actually updates? This part's for Vectorio. Draw protocol is not null, then make a layer. Do this if draw protocol fill area thing, return true. So there continue, because this is a loop here. Yeah, it's almost, I assume this is like return true. Although it is weird, this would return from fill area, even though we're inside the loop. So like we could return on the first one, and then that would skip the rest of the loop. Doesn't make sense though, does it? Okay, well we're in, what are we in here? C, group C dot, let's see which one though. Oh, we don't get to know from here. Okay, what about from here? Shared module, group C. Let's just close all of these. I'm looking for group. Obviously, it's not group, though. Display IO. Oopsie. There we go. Doing good. How are you? I'm doing pretty well also. Yeah, thank you. Let's see. So where was fill area? Down here. So it is weird. It doesn't feel like we would need like any kind of force refresh because we're not actually, like here, we're not actually changing the hidden state. We're just checking if hidden is false and then not doing all this stuff inside of here. Which is like, this, if this ends up working, this would allow us to not have to modify Vectorio at all. It would also mean that Vectorio shapes themselves can't just be set hidden, true, or false directly on themselves, but the group they're in could be, if this would work. But I think is okay for the time being. That would definitely fit the use case for the tab layout. Ultimately, it might be cool to also have a property on the Vectorio shapes as well, but it's not necessary all the way, I think. Let's go, no, make board by portal clean. Did I put sample code in the issue? Yeah. Grab this. Let's get our device workspace while that's building. We'll go new window. And I'll keep this one. This is the touch one, tab layout. Touch. I'll save that. Ooh, it's not live anymore. Oh. Huh. Interesting. Something... There's some kind of weird lag between the camera and the display. It's almost like it's not refreshing because it's thinking nothing is moving. That's kind of what it feels like. I have no idea if it even does that kind of optimization. Sometimes it's normal, but sometimes it like almost looks like it's not going to show it the text for the full cycle. Anyway, that's weird. Firmware, so let's go to bootloader. Would you say Python is your favorite programming language? Yeah, I think so. Right now, for sure. It's not the language that I have the most experience with. I would say Java still I have the most experience with, specifically Android. Although Python is growing, like a few more years working on the same kind of stuff that I do on an average day nowadays, Python will probably overtake Java with experience. Because honestly, a lot of the Java code that I work with at work is like, I mean, again, it's all Android and it's pretty well set for the most part. We don't do a whole lot of changing it, but that code connects up to a server, which is written in Python and Django, and we do a ton of new work on the server. So it will probably get taken over with my experience level. I would say I definitely enjoy writing Python a lot more than I do writing Android or Java or really any other language that I've tried, which I haven't tried a ton of languages, but I mean like web stuff, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, tiny bit of TypeScript, tiny bit of like React.js, XJS, something, I don't even remember what they call the language. It's like XML with JavaScript mixed in, kind of. It's interesting. Python, Java, not really C. I mean, I would say I still don't really consider myself reading or writing C, even though I have done some stuff inside the core. I'm basically like floundering around to get it done. Interesting. So it is hidden, but it's not, now the shapes aren't getting shown at all. I think that if we make this move, the shapes will actually work. Yeah. So that's interesting. So basically this is the nudge I was talking about. Like if we change something else, then the system realizes that it needs to refresh those shapes. But if we don't change anything else, then it just doesn't know. It did hide them the first time, though, actually, so that part worked. Is that right? Let's go without the loop, actually. Let's try just doing it once. So, like this, it should just show everything. And then really like the readability of Python. Yeah, I agree. It comes out, I mean, it's obviously got more weird characters than just English, but if you write it well, or if you're reading something that is written well, it can come across as English sort of ideas and actions, which is quite pleasing as far as programming languages go. Okay, so hidden true works. Everything is gone now. But then hidden back to false. You could move the group. That's true. Yeah, you totally could. I'm just trying to fix the hidden property. Like, we do have ways where we could make it work, and the reason specifically trying to fix the hidden property is because that's what the tab layout is doing. But I mean, we could go inside the tab layout and then change the logic from, you know, instead of setting hidden true false, it could be like moving the whole thing off screen. That totally would work, and I think it would even work with what we have today. But I don't know, people will just expect hidden to work correctly, I think, and it would be nice if it did. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I think here we, interesting. Well, that is strange. Gonna head out, got some errands to run. Yeah, for sure. Have a nice day. Thanks for stopping by. That is strange. So the time affects it. We wait even a little bit of time, then we don't get to see it. But if we don't wait any time at all, we do get to see it. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Why would that be? Okay, so let's look at what happens. When we set hidden to true and false? So here's a little bit more about what I was talking about when I said, like, I'm trying to make it work at the group layer, and then eventually maybe we'll go back and do it on the per object layer so that you could hide and show an individual Vectorio shape. It would need to have these things, like set hidden by parent, and then it would have its own hidden property as well, and it would have a variable inside of its struct. But the way we're doing it in group fill area, it feels like we might be able to get the main effect we're after without actually doing that stuff. But it does, so it's looping through all the members, layers, I guess I'll say layers, all the objects that are inside of it. Cast to tile grid. Oh, okay, cast to tile grid. If that fails, I guess it'll be null, like this. So if it wasn't null, then we know it was a tile grid. And then here it says cast it to a group, and then same thing. If it's not a group, this will be null. It won't go in here, or yeah. If it's not null, it will go in here and do this. Again, we could eventually put this on shape, but feels like we shouldn't need that. Let's look at what happens inside of one of these, though. Just hidden. Hidden by parent true. Full change. That does seem important. Full change. That's like our refresh, I think. Okay, what is our vector shape type? Let's look in. No, wait, hold on. How does this work? We make a tile grid? No, okay, we make a shape and we put the shape in the group. So let's find group append. Have append. Being able to hide an individual will be useful. Yeah, I agree. I do think it will be useful. But since the main thing I started with was the page layout, that's where I started on the groups first. As a shutter mask. Oh yeah. Feel an area. Put a picture if you happen to have a sample of that. I'm not sure if I'm picturing the right thing. Basically, I think you're making like a textured shape, essentially, because you have like a background image, and you're cutting out the parts of the background that aren't part of the shape. Is that how that's working? Where add layer? Okay. Group type. Huh. Is That's interesting. There's not actually. Oh, okay. Here we go. Got tricked by the folder. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, that's a little more different. It's not doing this cast native base thing. Instead, it's doing all this. Draw, update, transform. Huh, so I don't know how to get. I mean, I was gonna try to just do like this thing, get the layer, and then just try to do like layer dot full change equals true. We have a full change? I guess I don't even know if we do have a full change on vector shapes. Full coverage? No, we don't have a full change. There must be something similar, right? Oh, okay. So in this case, the background is the part that has the blue tiles in it. And then the shape is the black rounded rectangle that's on top of it. I see. And you kind of like, you're using it as like a cover, essentially, when when it's like doing stuff and not ready to show anything yet. Gotcha. Yeah. And I mean, you could, even if we do not, or I'll say until we do go back and add it for the individual shapes, you could always also just put your vector shape into a group by itself and then hide and show the group, assuming we get this to start working. But yeah, it would be better not to have to do that for sure. It'd be better to just be able to hide the thing by itself. Set dirty. Okay, this seems promising. I think we need to call this, but I have no idea how. Oh, we don't want to do that. Whoa. Is that your, is this for your coffee thing? No, this is just like a little kind of info screen looking deal. Nice. I guess it's probably for outside too, maybe, if it's in that big weatherproof thing. Big weatherproof box. That's pretty cool looking. Does this get called from anywhere in here? Yeah. It's always called on self though. So, okay, and it does get called from inside set X and set Y, which is why if we change the location, then it is working. So yeah, if we can figure out how to call this whenever the group gets hidden, so it seems like we call that function, we pass it the vector shape, but it's not going to be self. So we need to figure out how to get layer converted or whatever into vector shape type. It's just Vectorio vector shape. Vector shape T? Or I shape? Maybe this one? Do these have T's? Oh, type. T for type, maybe? Seems like a reasonable guess. The same thing here. It's going to do this converty casty thing. If it succeeded, then it won't be null. So then it will go in here. And instead of this, we're going to call that dirty with layer. Ooh, control click worked actually. I feel like I tried that at one point and it didn't. I wonder if maybe the preview trial version doesn't have all the features? Maybe I just tried it with something that didn't work before? I don't know. That actually makes me a lot more interested in using CLion over PyCharm if the control clicks work. So it does just take one thing, which is the vector shape. Okay, so does this even build? We probably need to still import this somehow. Unrecognized. Unexpected expression. Workshop corrosion monitor IoT. Putting the vector IO in its own group is workable. Wondering if it would use less memory than a display IO. It depends on the size of the thing, I think. The bigger the shape, the more likely the vector IO one will use less memory. But if it's a really, really small shape, then I think there may be cases where the bitmap one, display shapes one might use less. But I've done like 10 minutes of testing, so like, and I only tested like one size of things, so I do think it does depend though, and I think generally speaking, the bigger the shape, the more memory the bitmap one will take, whereas the vector one will use less for a big shape. But it's something I want to do more specific, like looking into one of these days, trying to actually measure. So I think maybe we just don't have the ability to use this because no, there's not really an import of that. Where's this stuff though? Actually, we already do kind of import that. I wonder, we need to import it from shared modules specifically? Ah, okay, no, we do actually just have type. It was closer to the other one. Feel like it made it farther. Yeah. Move them off the screen. Yep. You could subclass it in Python code and make a hidden property that actually just moves it off the display. Then it would behave the same. Oh, it actually built. Look at that. Now does it work? That's the real question. Bootloader. That's kind of hacky, I guess, but it would make it nicer to use. So you would make, like, in Python code, you'd make class and then have it extend circle or rectangle or polygon, the Vectorio type, and then just make your own hidden property and have it, instead of actually trying to call like set hidden to true onto the object, it just moves it, and it should know its own size, so it should be able to move it all the way outside the display. Then whenever we do actually fix it, your code that's written to work like that would still work the same, because it wouldn't care about what happens when it sets hidden to true. Okay, so here we ran, and we did get the shapes back. Does that mean we worked? Oh, right, no, okay, so yeah, we did. This works the same as it did before, but the real test is with the sleep. Well, the first real test. Ah, no, yeah, it doesn't. Okay, so let's make sure that this is actually happening. Um, Go to bootloader. I go higher J, will this go faster? Not using any J at all. Goes slower than J4. Can I just, I don't think I've ever tried to push it though. Can I do like J8, or what does it depend on? The number of threads or something in the CPU? Where's this thing with the pretty, whoops, pretty charts? Oops, I just went to files twice in a row. Well, CPUs? Can I do J12 to make it faster? Maybe I shouldn't use all of them. How much was that one though? That was 47 seconds. Oh, okay, it never actually is a vector IO shape. It never goes inside there. It never said calling set dirty. So this thing didn't complete right. So it's, well, we have technically what, a circle and a rectangle. We need to use those instead of shape? Circle and a rectangle. Or are we looking for actually this? Really, there must be like a superclass though. Let's do it with just the circle. And if that works, but the rectangle doesn't, then we know. Let's try 8. We did 47 seconds last time. Oh. Undeclared, first use. Okay, so that one is import, I think. It depends on the number of CPU cores. Okay. So maybe 8 will potentially go. I guess it depends like what else the computer is doing too, which my computer is kind of doing a lot. It's running the stream. It's watching the stream preview on Twitch. It's running a YouTube video in the background. Also watching the stream preview on Restream, which I'll pause because we don't really need that many previews running. "45 seconds. Tiny bit faster, but not meaningfully, really. I'm just glad it's under a minute. Okay, so does it work to hide the circle? And to start with, it won't because we don't have the sleep, I think. Oh, actually, we hard crashed. That's not good. Oh. Right. So we checked if it was a circle, we made it into a circle, and then we tried to call this on it, but this is not for circles. It's for shape. There's an event on dirty. Interesting. Okay, there is one of these at least. Use 8, doesn't really matter. What is this? Too few arguments. Oh. Oh. Set on dirty. That's not what we want. Maybe we need to call that thing though? On dirty.event? Oh. Oh. This seems unlikely to work, right? This is not even probably the right syntax, I'm guessing. Yeah. So what is... I feel like maybe we're off the trail a little bit. Because Circle doesn't directly have... whatever it was that we found before. Set dirty. But Circle must be using shape, right? I don't know how inheritance works, really. In C, I mean. I-shape T. This struct binds a shape's common shape support functions vector shape interface to its instance pointer. Only check at construction time when the type what the type of the associated shape is and link the correct functions up. Later, when using the shape for drawing logic, these functions may be invoked unconditionally. Okay. How do I get a vector shape from a circle? Don't know. I guess maybe it's somehow related to this, because that's what we saw somewhere earlier. Eye shape. This is always called on self, but it's all, these are all inside of here. All of the usages are in there. On this side, they all have these. I assume they all. We've only looked at circle. They use this on dirty. This is like a function to call when it becomes dirty. I don't know how that works. Draw get dirty area. I don't know where draw protocol comes from though, or what that is. Draw fill area. There's this fill area. Update transform. That was one of the other ones that draw protocol thing was using. Back in here somewhere. Where does this come from? Wrapper shape. Yep. Proto get. But what kind of thing is this? And how does it have all of these draw something that seem to map up to stuff inside vector shape? Like update trans, somehow it calls draw update transform. I guess is somehow using this ultimately, but how does it get from draw update transform or draw fill area into these ones? Wish there was a good way to look at both the shared bindings and the shared module, but only for one package, so that I could quickly get back and forth. But because I have to like scroll, there's so many things between. Okay. Set. No, but this is just doing set on dirty, the function thing. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I'll keep poking around, but I'm also gonna ask somebody who might know. And we'll see. I have no idea if they're gonna be around or when they'll get back to me. So we'll still keep looking into it afterwards, but hopefully this will give me, like, if I don't figure it out, I'll still have an out to hopefully. So what I want to ask is, I want to ask, how do I call set dirty? This gets wired up to this event, so there's probably a way to do it through the events or whatever, but I just don't know how. Oh, yeah, this was my attempt and it failed. Or it didn't even build, did it? Yeah. Ah. You could create project scopes. Definitely seems nifty. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, I will set these up. I mean, because I'm generally inside display or Vectorio. Having it, at least those ones would be nice, but even being able to add one if I'm working in a different module. So we want to call set dirty. Where did we find set dirty? We're gonna clean up a bit, close everything except this. Isn't there a set dirty? Okay. So I'm gonna also link a couple of these places. This was bindings? No, module. And we want to call it from here, which is also shared module. Set hidden? Yeah. There are a ton of... Put this back how I tried initially. Get lost. I know the breakdown of what's supposed to be where, but I haven't yet gotten to the point where I keep track of what actually is where when I'm bouncing between these four files. Like it's very common that you want to look inside of, like, you know, for instance, group.h, group.c inside shared bindings, and then also inside shared modules. So you have four files, and I in my head I don't really keep track very well yet of which thing which piece of code is in which one of those. I know high level how the breakdown is supposed to work, but the specific pieces of code that I see, not good at keeping track yet. We tried like this, and it didn't do anything because it was not this type. Boy. Okay. Warrior of Wire is the one who made Vectorio, so I suspect they will probably have a decent idea of how to actually do this. Possibly somebody who is just more able to read C better than me might know as well, but I'm fairly certain Warrior of Wire will know how to do this. Imagine Sea Lion works the same way. Yeah, it probably does. Probably does. Let's see, how do we create one? Include? Create and edit scopes, use the scopes page. Appearance behavior scopes. Plus. Ooh, shared. Interesting. Thank you for pointing me towards this, by the way. Yeah. Thank you for highlighting. Now I guess Vectorio. Oh yeah, that is sweet. You know what I think I might just go add DisplayIO and bitmap tools. Those are like the main places that I tend to be inside the core. And having the 3 of those will not, it'll still be small enough that I can easily do this. Yeah, this is awesome. This is exactly what I wanted. How do I edit? Probably, I guess, go back to settings. This one. This one. Oop. Control click, yeah. 81 files. Oh, I didn't refresh. Oh, there it goes. Nice. I can't keep it open, but as long as I keep them folded, the ones I'm not using, so as long as I only unfold one, it'd be pretty good. DisplayIO is definitely the biggest one, but that's still much better. Much, much, much better than it was. Awesome. We should probably rename it, though. Weird that it turns you off of it whenever you change it. Just learned about scopes myself. The codebase I work with at work is now huge, so scopes come in handy. Yeah, that's awesome. Honestly, I could probably benefit from using that for some work things as well. Come to think of it. Okay. So let's... how do we do that? Let's try to see if we can figure out how what I'm going to think of as the subclasses, circle, rectangle, polygon, how do those use vector shape? Vector shape parts. Okay, the draw protocol instance is the vector shape. So do we do... Whoa. That is not what we do. Do we do layer? Let's keep that one. Layer, draw, protocol. I'm gonna copy it. I don't want the reason it doesn't work to be because I typoed. And then this we can now, or we can pass this into here. Maybe? No. Dot? I still don't. Oh, well, first of all, You can't just have this by itself, probably. Let's fix that. But no, still. It's unclear to me difference between dot and arrows. It's something to do with pointers, I think, but it's not quite stuck in my head yet how it works and when to use one or the other, or how to make it so that you can use one. Well, the thing is, though, we're still not going to go inside of here, though, is the problem, because this is still not gonna work. So we need the circle one, I guess, to have any chance at even executing this code. And then we basically need to, from the circle, get this, and then call setDirty on it. Pass it to setDirty. Only one usage in here. Oh, okay. We call this, and we pass the circle to here. No. Oh? We just have a semicolon? Ah, okay, maybe. Maybe. Hasn't failed yet, which is a good sign. Definitely a good sign. So if it does work, it's still only going to work on the circle, and we'd have to add one of these for each type of shape. So circle, rectangle, polygon. Okay, we got a build. Go to bootloader. Make sure it doesn't hard crash like our previous attempt. And then if it doesn't hard crash, we can check if it actually does what we want. I have no idea which code I left on it. Okay, so this one did always work before, but the true test is, yeah, it went inside there and it didn't crash. That's a good sign. I don't know why it reran. I haven't saved yet. It's kind of weird that it reran. It worked. Okay. That is awesome. So let's clean this up. Whoa. I wish I could turn that off. I never want to drag with the mouse. Ever. I don't think I have ever once. Actually, I think maybe once I have wanted to do that. Now that I say that, I think there was one day where I was like, you know, I never want this to do this, but I'm going to use it today. PyCharm, disable, drag, highlighted, code. Settings editor, general, mouse. Oh, mouse, okay. Yes. No, we don't want that. Oh, the music paused. Oh, that's so much nicer. Why did I not look for that earlier? You know, there's stuff like that. You find, like, you just kind of deal with little stuff that you find annoying, but not that annoying for so long. Like, I've wanted that for years, frankly. Between PyCharm and the other ones of these, I've wanted that for years, and I've never gone and looked into it, and it took 30 seconds, and now we have it, and it's amazing. Okay, so what we were actually doing though is deleting this stuff. We don't really need the prints. And we will basically, we could get rid of that. We'll basically just do all the types. So circle, excuse me. Can I go back to here? Rectangle, polygon. Rectangle, polygon. Also, let me update this. Oh, this is not PyCode though, right? There's C. Ugh. Why does it do that? Wish it didn't do that. Could be worse. Doesn't want a space in there though. I don't know how to put the space. Okay. So rectangle here, polygon. Okay. That's all we need, right? Might as well go back to 4. This didn't really get appreciably faster. Oh. What did we do? Broke something? Int? Do we need to import more things? All the new ones we added. Yeah, undeclared. Okay, I think we just need to import more things. Yeah, we would need rectangle, polygon. Oh, interesting. All right. We need like a... trying to think of ways to up the Twitch stream game a little bit. It'd be nice if we had some kind of like overlay game that could run while we were waiting on a build. I don't know what we would do exactly, but that might be kind of a cool thing if we had something where, because like it's usually downtime. Either I go and look at something else and then sometimes get distracted and forget to come back soon, or I sit there and wait and then you all just watch me wait. We had something that could like overlay on the stream and do something fun or interesting for, 30 to 60 seconds or however long it takes. All right. It already, I think, did the sleep. It does seem to have worked. Go hidden for 1 second, showing. And then we could also actually loop now, right? Without this stuff. Don't really need pass either. Doesn't matter, but... yeah. Alright. That is what we want right there. Okay, let's PR this. After we make sure we didn't leave any weird prints or comments or... oh, should we have this maybe? Wherever we were doing that? Probably should have that. Where were we doing that? That was in set hidden. Yeah, we should probably have that, right? Here? I don't know. What was it? Weird, it always wants to go back all the way. I don't know why it doesn't want to be indented. And then what? Indiff or indiff, yeah. Otherwise, this would, I assume, fail or do something bad on builds where Vectorio is not turned on. Which is like probably SAMD21s, like CPX with Gizmo screen. Maybe things like Halloween also. Okay, formatting looks good. I don't have any extra prints. Oh. Right. Yeah, this happens to me. This happens to me. I want to run pre-commit against the core and make a PR with all the changes. Because there's a formatter, and the formatter changes all this stuff, even though I didn't touch it. I don't want, like, any of this. I want this only, pretty much. That ended up being really our only change. Which doesn't seem like much now that we figured it out, but it was a bit of an adventure to figure it out. It's always fun, though, to figure stuff like that out on your own. It's cool, like, people can help point you in the right direction, and that gets stuff done faster, but honestly, like, I learned more fumbling through it this way. Hopefully it's, at least partially enjoyable to watch somebody fumble through this stuff. We need to do anything else? Well, we want to run, but I think I ended up turning it on, like, pre-commit install. I think when I make a commit, it does actually have the pre-commit now, if I recall right. Oh, I totally, didn't set the commit message. think there's a way I can change that. Well, so I guess this is still just local right now. It's not actually pushed anywhere yet. Why are we so far down? Yeah. Much better. Control-Shift-K. Let me compare also real quick. So we started with this part. We merged, and we ended up here. We took out all those prints. Pretty sure. Because yeah, all the prints we did have were in here, and this is showing only changed, but this is on one. I wish I could view. I wish I could view all of these. Does that do what I think? Ah, okay. Yeah. Fill area. So no. Yeah, we need to go back and remove all of these. This is inside fill area. And that did, I'm pretty sure that did do what I wanted, which was like aggregate all of those together. Oh, this is why the return, maybe? Track if any of the layers finishes filling the given area. We can ignore any remaining layers at that point. Oh. Oh, okay, so that's like a bit of optimization, the way it's returning here, I think. If there's something fully covering something else, then we do the thing in front, and we don't do any of the stuff behind. That way it doesn't bother like populating pixels that aren't going to get shown, that have something in front of them. Okay. One thing I do wonder though is, did we break... Well, hold on. Did I add this stuff? I didn't add this stuff, did I? This stuff was there. I added this if statement. Did I break anything with this? I mean, it's working in my little example, but I wonder if this would have any other consequences. I also wonder, though, do we need... Yeah, I guess we would need both. Because this check down here is actually what made it hide the shapes. Like, this one will build and I think not crash, but I think the shapes will stay visible. Let that run. Let me go back to that diff again. How are we looking now? We got our imports, we got this stuff, and then we got here, which, yeah, totally did already have this. Looks like maybe I didn't save, or it's not counting it because I haven't committed yet, I suppose. And I added this, but all of the stuff inside of it was already there. Okay. So... Oh. Oh, I didn't install it yet. I didn't install it yet. It's like, that does hide it? That's weird. Okay, no, back to bootloader. You get so used to, like, just saving your code and having it run. You start working in the core, you forget to actually, like, go to bootloader and load it, and you're just expecting it to be running the latest one. Okay, yeah. So they don't hide. They stay visible. Nothing crashes, everything still works without, like, totally crashing, but it doesn't do what we want, which is hide those. So we need the if statement. Interestingly, I think this means if we ever added more display.io objects, more objects that can be added to groups and shown on the display, this means it's easier for them all to support this hidden behavior without actually implementing it themselves. Again, though, I do think we'll still want to go back and add it to the vector shapes themselves, because I do think it would be nice to go individually, each one of them, hide and show. But I'm interested in getting this in and getting feedback on it, and if possible, getting this merged before I worry about that, because this will cover the tab layout, which is like how we got into even looking into this at all. Need to do anything else here? Okay, so we got rid of the prints in the new line spaces. That's it. Can't remember, is there a way to check if you have pre-commit installed or not? Like installed on the repo, not like it's on my computer, but pre-commit install? Pre-commit? Does it do anything different? No. Well, I don't know. Now it's not gonna matter because I don't have anything else to commit. I guess I could just run it again and see if group changes. Yeah. Oh, I could go look in there, I guess, and that would tell me if it had been installed prior or not. So it failed formatting, but the real question is going to be is like, did any of that formatting actually change the files I was working with, which is group? And it looks like no. Oh, maybe actually. Yes. Okay. Space there. Okay. But none of the rest. All the rest of these are different stuff. All of these only touch group C. Oh. I'm gonna call it draw protocol, added it so common functionality can be abstracted. I could have sworn I wrote an example of calling a draw protocol method without knowing the type. Ooh. We have a house emoji, I'm sure, right? So possibly there will be some way where we don't have to have all three of those if statements. If there's a way where it can do it without caring about the type. Let me switch this back. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, I think my mouse battery is dying. Foamy guy, hidden Vectorio, we're pushing this. Oh, right. Alright. Oh, we gotta do that. I wish I could get the token from PyCharm. But I don't know if there's a way. If there's a way, I don't know what the way is. So this is gonna want a two-factor probably, right? No? Okay. Okay. Didn't put the right things on it. Repo gist read org workflow. Can you change it afterwards? Maybe? Or do I go into this one though? Okay. There we go. And it pushed. Alright, I gotta run to the restroom real quick. I'll be back in a minute. You're back. This. Back to the chats. Let's go look at the one we pushed. Well, let's also build it and make sure it's working correctly. More time. This is with the if, because I commented it out for a minute. Make sure it was required, but we put it back. Did I put the end back? Yeah. So I'll figure out if this is good. I'll make the PR, and then I think I am probably headed out for the day after that. So if anybody has questions or comments or anything, got a couple of minutes left still while I do that to get them in. I'm pretty excited. Later on today, I'm going to hang out with a buddy that I haven't seen for a couple of years, so it'll be fun. Here, this is still building. The diffs in GitHub sometimes are very strange looking. Because, like, really the thing that changed is this is a new line. And down here, like, one of these is a new line that didn't used to exist. But the indentation and the fact that all this stuff is the same, just indented, it throws it off somehow to where it's kind of ugly, honestly, the way that it shows it to you. Because, like, it makes it look like a lot more stuff changed, when really we just wrapped this inside of a if statement here. Anyway, that does look like everything we changed though, so I think we're good there. Oh, I have no idea the number. X204. Bootloader. Might as well put a video of it working correctly. All right, this is awesome. I'm pretty stoked to get this in. It was a bit of work, but I learned some stuff about the core. I learned some stuff about using Vectorio internally. Learned kind of a little more about how it tells things when to refresh, basically. And honestly, the thing that I'm most stoked about is the functionality. Being able to put vector shapes inside of the tab layout and have it work correctly. In fact, I think what I'll do is maybe one more thing I'll do after I create the PR is I'll switch back to the tab layout example and use a vector shape or two on that instead of what we have now, which is the bitmap display shapes. Because that is awesome that we can now do that. We might as well actually test it out in that use case as well. Close this. I'll mention here as well. Nice. Thank you, Mendes. Okay, and the actions take a little while. We probably won't wait long enough for all of those to pass, but I will switch back to tab. And now the thing is, you do need to create a palette still. And then is it pixel shader? Yeah. I think that's how that works. I'm not positive though. Our square and our rectangle. There's our square. Oh. Hmm. Alright, I am gonna head out pretty soon, but I will start trying to look into this a little bit. First thing is, let me just make sure I'm actually using the Vectorio object correctly. Call it width, height, XY, pixel shader, yeah. Did we put this back? Well, yeah, we must have, because we took the video. Something about being inside the... Actually pass? That's weird. Why did it go so fast? I don't think it did the builds. Oh, okay, it's not actually done. It's not actually done. Okay. Alright, well, we made it work in the most basic case, but still doesn't work inside the page layout. Let's take one step back to the actual page layout by itself instead of TabLayout. So I think my guess... Alright, we're gonna go back to this way. We're gonna test my guess. My guess is that the problem is that inside the page layout, basically there's an extra nested layer of group. I think. Let's see if that even matters. Possible I'm wrong. Another group equals... Like, basically, if you have a parent group, a group inside of that, and then a shape inside of that, and you set the parent group to hidden, I don't think we handled that case. If we set the middle one, the one that directly contains the shape, to hidden, then I think what we just did in the core makes it work. But if we have that extra parent one, my theory is that it won't work. Very good solution. You put to work on a couple of projects. Thanks for the fix. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for watching. So let's test this theory. So we're putting these inside main group. If I then don't do this, but instead go put main group in here, or other way around. Yeah, no, actually, yeah, let's put main group in here. And then show another group, and if I don't change anything else, then everything still works. This is my hypothesis. Okay, everything still works, but if we do another group here, now it won't work anymore. Okay, that's not necessarily how I expected it to not work, but it is not working. So I'll consider that at least a partially correct hypothesis. So I think we did set hidden. We did this in set hidden. I bet we need to do it in this, actually. Yeah, I bet you we need the same stuff. Which it does feel a little bad to just copy paste this. Okay, hold on. The way these indentions get messed up really throws me off. Okay, I think this fixes it. Well, I should actually look at the code. I just blindly copy pasted that. I assume this is doing the same thing, basically. Yeah, because what's going to happen is another group is going to, when we tell another group to be hidden, it's going to go in here and it's going to go set hidden by parent of main group. Well, actually, on another group, it's going to specifically go in here. So we set another group to hidden true. It goes in here and it sets main group hidden by parent like this. And then if we add this stuff here, now when main group has its hidden by parent called, it will cause it to do all the same stuff to all of its children. So this one now should cascade down no matter how many layers you have. I think it should still work. Oh yeah, that's right. Right there. Okay, you can run pre-commit on a file, right? I like that. That seems more promising. Okay. Okay, this explains kind of where protocol. That's kind of why it used to be called protocol more in more places, and it looks like got changed to the vector shape type integration. Okay. I'll look through that. Handle groups inside of groups with vector IO hidden. Heard you like groups? So we put a group inside your group, and then we made your group hidden. Sounds fun. Yeah. So unfortunately, oh, I think actually there's some sweet rule here now where this will like cancel the old actions somehow. I think it notices that there is a new push, except there's not a new push. Did we not push? Oh, hey, no, hold on. Whoa, hey, undo. Okay. Whew. Yeah, okay, we didn't push yet. We committed, but not push. I think these actions, though, it will like cancel the previously running ones here somehow. Nice. It will make the new ones go faster because it won't wait. First, I mean, it's double-edged sword because like if this one would have finished, maybe we would have learned that it was going to fail somewhere. Minutes? I don't know. Thought I saw one day that they ended up canceling. Maybe it depends where you're at too. I guess I could cancel it from here. Should I try that? I don't know if I actually have the rights to cancel it. Sending request. Oh. Whew. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Interesting, this page is not dark. They need to make their error page follow your theme. Otherwise, you're gonna blind somebody with that thing. There's yellow here. Viewed. Alright, well. Well, I don't know, this draggy thingy, like, why can't we just scroll? Why do we need this? Anybody at Microsoft, if you're listening, right, just use the scroll bar, scroll wheel. We don't need it to zoom. This is barely even zooming anyway. Why do we need this? Alright, well, I don't know. I'm not going to try to cancel it again because I broke GitHub last time, so we'll just let it run. This one will be the newer one, which will do all the builds, and we'll find out if it's too big for any places or if there's anything else we need to do. I'll note here, I guess, latest commit. Okay. Yeah. And now, let's also, moment of truth, let's go back to this. This should work now, I think. Fingers crossed. I hope. Let's go I hope, maybe not I think. I mean, I think too, but I also hope. Deep breath. All right, here we go. Yes. Heck yeah. There we go. Awesome. And then, of course, I think square and rectangle, those are the only ones we actually changed. We could do circle if we wanted. For triangle, we can't just do triangle directly, but we could do polygon and make a triangle out of it. I'm going to leave it for now, though, because really what I wanted to know is just, does this work? And this tells us yes. Yes, it does, which is awesome. Okay. I'm glad that I checked into that and that it was as relatively easy of a solution as it was. All right, so I'm going to head out. Thank you to everyone watching. T. Grover, Dexter, let's see. Paul, maybe? Paul SK was around earlier. I don't know if they mentioned anything while I was on stream, but thank you to them as always. They've been using the tab layout for some examples and sharing the results over on Twitch. Thank you, Tammy, for hanging out. And our other Twitch viewer, at least chatter, left already, Sound of Gaming. But yeah, thanks to them as well. We do have a few folks still on the Twitch. Maybe we'll take a quick peek and see if there's anybody we can raid. If there's anybody interesting to raid, we could do that. Otherwise, set out. Let's see, which one of these is raid? Raid? Anthony. We could raid back to Anthony. Anthony raided me one day, and I definitely appreciated it. So we don't have as many folks as he does, but we can raid back. So yeah, I'll if you're watching through Twitch, I'll raid over to Anthony Writes Code, which is actually the person who made pre-commit. So if you're interested in pre-commit and or watching somebody work on open source Python hardware, then I can say that I recommend checking out Anthony on Twitch, which is where we will head after this. So thank you to everybody, and I'll catch you next time. Definitely we'll be back Friday for the deep dive, and next Saturday for this stream. Possibly will pop up before then. If you want to get notified, you can follow me on Twitch. So thanks, everybody. Hope you have a good day, good weekend, all of that stuff, and I will see you next time. Go start raid. Here we go. Yeah, thanks, Skywatcher. I don't know if I'm still here or not, but thank you.